Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about how you can do more for your managers with deeper signals. And if you're watching this, you probably already recognize the importance of providing managers with the right tools and support to help them achieve their potential to maximize their success. The truth is, despite all the literature out there on how to succeed as a manager, and there's a ton out there, organizations still aren't doing enough to support their own. On one hand, it's really common that organizations promote skilled workers into management positions because they're good at their job. They're a high performer and they're good at doing the work. But they don't always consider that managing people is actually a completely different skill set. On the other hand, managers who might have had a good track record or they were successful being a manager for one team are assumed to be a successful manager with another team. And that's not always the case. So both of these common strategies are actually flawed. A lot of organizations do provide managers with resources, with training, but oftentimes without accounting for their individual differences. The manager's personal strengths, weaknesses, personalities, and the complex people that they're leading and managing every day should determine the resources that they're provided. It's really interesting. In a recent poll, we asked our network what they think is the number one challenge for managers. And we presented ideas like navigating conflict, inspiring others, coaching. The results were pretty even across the board. There wasn't a clear winner in the options we provided. And I think this suggests a really important takeaway, that a one-size-fits-all approach to manager training simply will not work. Managers have different needs, they have different talents, they have different challenges, and it's really important to provide solutions tailored to those unique strengths and gaps. On top of this, related to not receiving the right support, a recent study showed that 50% of managers feel burned out. Half the managers out there are struggling. Now, as a leader, as a coach, or even as a manager yourself, my question is, what are you doing to change this? Because you have options and it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be expensive. So deeper signals might be your answer to unlock the full potential of your managers and the teams that they lead. And at Deeper Signals, our mission is to democratize self-awareness and feedback to help everyone reach their potential. So instead of reserving these tools and resources for the C-suite, for the top of the house, we believe everyone across levels deserves the support and they can benefit from this. So we use technology, data, and personality science to democratize self-insight and help employees develop through personalized, targeted interventions. Our system provides end-to-end talent solutions for managers all in one easy-to-use place. So we measure individual personality traits. We can also measure values. We provide feedback for individuals and also at the team level. And we offer coaching based on those results. We also give access to really meaningful analytics that can help managers make more strategic talent decisions around their hiring, their promotion decisions, their development strategies, and even their succession. Our assessments are powered by the most reliable science available, but they also account for the user experience because they're quick, they're engaging, they're fun, they're easy to understand, they're intuitive, but most importantly, they're focused on practical application based on those results. So the core drivers is our core tool that's based on the 5-factor model that measures personality. So it measures how you tend to behave, communicate, make decisions, whereas the core values is based on self-determination theory and helps you understand what motivates you, what's important to you as an individual. So how does this help managers? Why are we here? Managers can use these tools to help each of their direct reports increase their own self-awareness and give them insight into their motivations. It helps them understand their biggest strengths, their potential blind spots, and areas of opportunity, ways they can be a better version of themselves. So managers learn more about each person on their team, and then the team has a consistent framework or a common language to describe who they are, to share more about their strengths and their typical behaviors, and also to learn more about each other. So along with individual reports, managers automatically receive these coaching reports. So this all comes from just that one assessment experience. In these coaching reports, they have coaching questions, so targeted questions to help understand that person in a deeper way, along with practical tips tailored to the individual's unique profile. So every report will be different based on that person's score. And managers can use these reports for onboarding, for getting to know someone initially, to help them understand who they are in relation to their new environment, to meet during one-on-one check-ins, during feedback sessions, performance conversations, coaching conversations, as a way to really generate meaningful, targeted discussion around who they are, who they want to be, and to provide advice, some inspiration for their development plans, which are typically hard to create out of nowhere. It really grounds that conversation and helps you think of those ideas and those actions and those behaviors to really speed up that process. So with these reports, managers learn how to bring out the best in each person that they manage with really actionable advice. So understanding each individual is obviously crucial, but not in isolation. Managers need to think about how their team members relate to one another, how these personality traits combine, how their team tends to collaborate, what are their shared or combined strengths, and then where are the gaps? So how similar or different are people on the team, and what's the best way to manage this team collectively? What are they going to be really good at automatically based on their behaviors and their strengths, their traits, things that they do and say every day? And then what's missing? What are they going to need help with? And how cognitively diverse is that group? And based on the goals that those teams have, what talents or strengths might be missing from this group that they could add to the team or seek outside of their team to really strengthen them and become more well-rounded? This is where the team dynamics report comes in, and it's really a gift for managers. I can't imagine being a manager without having this team dynamics report, especially when there's a new manager and they're inheriting a team that they don't know, or maybe this team is newly formed, or there's been a lot of recent changes to the team. This team report will really fast track getting to know each person and then how to strategically manage and engage this unique group of people. So in the past, team reports were reserved for the most senior levels because they were really expensive, they were time consuming, they required outside consulting firms and coaches to pull all this data, to do the interpretations, to run the debriefs. But now all that's changed. With these team dynamics reports, managers at every level can benefit from having their own team report. And the best part about this is as team members change, which they often do, so does the report and this content. So it doesn't take weeks to create, and it doesn't become irrelevant when people leave or new people join. So it's a really dynamic report. It's not static. So what happens when managers now understand each person and coach to people's unique talents? Amazing things happen. Potential is unlocked and performance increases. So managers understand how their team prefers to communicate and work together and can coach them, to show more consideration. If they're a really candid group, they can offer that support or help them address conflict proactively and speak directly if they're really considerate and they need help having more direct conversations. They know if they are an outgoing group who need more time to socialize, to build in more time before and after meetings, or if they're a more reserved group and need time to work independently and recharge their energy. They understand how emotionally reactive team members are, and they can learn to teach them how to recover from setbacks, become more resilient if they're really high on that passionate scale. They have a better understanding of the group's cognitive diversity and then how to manage those differences to create a more psychologically safe environment that can foster innovation. So we know diversity is important, but it can also create tension and frustration. So you need to understand those differences to manage them, to make the most and to really reap the benefits of that diversity. Good managers are good coaches. We know this. And coaches use personality science and data to drive change and improvement. There's really a science to all of this. And good managers also know how to turn awareness into action. They don't just give someone a diagnostic or an assessment, use it as team building exercise, say that was fun, and then file it away. With deeper signals, they can really take these results and do something with it. We really make this piece easy for managers because we give them the prompts and the advice and the actions that they can take and really make the most of asking someone to go through this. So we have these continuous feedback solutions. So every manager will have their own digital coach to provide guidance and inspiration. And we also have these personalized development journeys with learning content, which includes strategic goal setting, micro actions, and nudges to support lasting behavior change. So every manager and every individual that goes through core drivers has these resources at their fingertips. They can go on these self-directed learning experiences to go deeper, focusing on those 3 core drivers, the areas in which they can make the biggest impact. In addition, we have this new solution called Dynamo. And Dynamo is dynamic in the moment feedback, and it will help managers identify the goals for their direct reports. So based on their results, each user is presented with a curated list of goals, and then they can choose how long they want to go on this journey and embark on weekly or bi-weekly sprints and activities to meet those goals. So in this way, Dynamo makes giving feedback and creating those development plans a lot less stressful, a lot less time consuming. We can even tie these goals to the organization's custom competency framework. So individuals know, okay, this is who I am, these are the things I need to work on, and this is how this goal specifically relates to what's important to my company, to these competencies that we all agree are important to the success across the organization. So there's a lot you can do to customize this experience, but the bottom line is that each employee and each manager needs the tools to help guide that journey, and we can use data and personality science to make it happen. So let's see this in action. Let's hear from our CEO and founder, Reece, to give a demo of how these tools work.
Thank you, Stephanie. So now what I'm going to do is show you how the Deeper Signals platform can help your managers grow and develop the soft skills, gain that self-awareness, and then learn the leadership skills to effectively engage and manage their direct reports. So let's start with the core drivers. This is the start of the entire Deeper Signals journey, as it is an accurate measure of someone's personality, or in other words, the way that they work, collaborate, and lead. So the core drivers only takes 7 minutes to complete. It is built on the 5-factor model of personality and has been validated through machine learning algorithms, where we have correlated people's scores with a variety of different performance metrics. Now, this is important because it means the feedback and insights that we are able to provide managers is built on scientific data and on a strong foundation of evidence. So the core drivers report is really focused around the 3 ways that a manager is most unique. That is, what are the behavioral qualities that shape the way they make decisions, the way that they engage their direct reports, and the way that they go about completing their work. So here we can see that I'm driven, disciplined, and candid. That means I'm someone that is very goal-orientated, proactive, and ambitious. It also means I'm very diligent, hardworking, and detail-orientated. And then candid suggests that I am a more straightforward, upfront, and transparent communicator. Now, unlike traditional assessments that measure a variety of different dimensions and then provide that feedback back to the individual in a complicated and overwhelming fashion, with the core drivers report, we're really trying to keep the user's attention focused on the 3 ways that they can have the biggest impact when leading and managing others. And that's why we focus on the 3 core drivers. Now, as we go through this report, an individual can understand, how did these core drivers help them? Under what circumstances do they add value to their managerial capability, and what they can do to best enhance these capabilities? Now, the second section of this report is really focusing on how this person may struggle to lead effectively when they're under stress. So we take the view that every strength has some associated weakness to it, And that the more that we can become aware of where these challenges or blind spots are, the better we can manage that weakness and learn new ways of thriving and behaving at work. So here, for example, we can see that under times of stress or when I'm not managing myself correctly, my driven tendencies can come across as being domineering. That is, I may be willing to win at all costs, where I thereby ignore the feelings and emotions of those around me. It may mean I struggle to follow someone else's lead, or I may have unrealistic perceptions of my ability. Now, we can see these risk behaviors associated with each of my core drivers. What we're trying to do with this section of the report is not to say that someone is insensitive or is domineering, but rather help them gain a deeper level of awareness around how they may behave when they're not properly aware or managing themselves correctly, and giving them advice around what they can do to correct that. The remaining sections of the report really focus on their ability to collaborate and lead. So here under the teamwork section, we are seeing how this manager's core drivers can both be a strength, but also a risk. So what can this manager do to leverage their driven, disciplined, and candid capabilities to add to the team's cognitive diversity and help that team become more effective? And then the final section is really dialing down on someone's leadership capabilities. That is, how can they best change, modify, or lean into aspects of their core drivers and core risks to help them engage and coordinate action more efficiently and effectively? We even highlight ways that they can make better decisions. Now, the core drivers report is a great way of getting self-awareness. However, awareness in itself is not enough to create great leaders. So what we have developed is a state-of-the-art development tool called Dynamo that enables people to receive personalized and behavioral-based feedback to help them grow and develop new soft skills and capabilities. Now, what's really neat about this tool is that it's scalable and designed to be self-directed. That means you can now deliver personalized and accurate coaching advice to every manager within your organization. So let's take a look at how that works. A user can launch a Dynamo journey directly from their core drivers report. A Dynamo journey describes 3 goal-based sprints that an individual will work on, and each sprint is designed to tackle a particular behavior or gap that that manager may have. And we recommend these behaviors based on their core drivers. So we have given them awareness around where their strengths and gaps are. And now what we are doing is taking that data to provide intelligent and curated suggestions around what this manager can do to become most effective in the shortest amount of time. So here, for example, we can see that given that the highest scoring core driver was being driven, I'm getting suggested some goals about how I can manage my pace and avoid burnout and focus on the needs and wants of others. This is a real risk of being highly driven, is that it can become domineering. Similarly, I can see other suggested goals related to my other core drivers. Now, a Dynamo journey consists of 3 sprints. So here, what I'm doing is choosing the first goal that I want to work on. So I'm going to choose manage my pace and avoid burnout. I can then choose how long I want to work on that sprint. So if this is a behavior or a goal that already have some capability and I just need to touch it up, I may choose to work on it for 30 days. Or if it's a big stretch goal, I want to give myself more time to really build that capability and confidence. I'm just going to choose 30 days for now. I get some tips around what I should expect within a sprint, and I get some advice around what I can do so that I get the most out of this, this program. And then I hit start. Now, what we are seeing here is the Dynamo feed. We can see how many sprints have been completed and how many activities I've completed. I can see some upcoming sprints. And then I can see the main focus of the Dynamo experience, which is this coaching activity. So for every goal that you have selected, you are going to receive personalized coaching content written by a team of experts, which helps someone better understand the behaviors associated with the goal and what they can do to grow them, and then have an activity to practice for that week or over the next few days. The idea is that over 30, 60, 90 days, you are going to be getting content and activities that are designed to scaffold upon each other so that you feel confident, you have the self-belief, and you have the ability to display the behaviors that you have said you want to work on. So here, for example, is telling me more about how does drive it lead to burnout and some things I can do to manage the emotional labor associated with that. And then at the end, I'm given a piece of advice and a challenge to practice for the next 30 days. I can then go off and practice this behavior. I can check in with my colleagues, get their input, and then once I'm done, I can mark it as complete. Now, we are not just serving endless amounts of content. We really want people to take the time and digest and practice the activities that our coaches have created for this individual and for this sprint. So here we can see that the next card is available in 5 days. So I'll come back on and I'll get a new activity to practice. Let's take a look at a Dynamo journey that is halfway complete. So this is another user. They are also working on this goal. And here we can see what it looks like when you have uncompleted activity cards. So here, for example, is one around how I am directing my energy. Am I putting in towards the right projects and in the right places? Again, I can learn some of the common challenges associated with this behavior because it's something that many people deal with. And then again, I get a new challenge, something I can work on. I hit complete, and then I have more activity cards to practice throughout the duration of my sprint. We can see here completed cards, and then we can also see my progress here. Once the sprint has been completed, I can then choose a new goal and restart this process. With Dynamo, what we are doing is putting a digital coach in every manager's pocket. We are enabling them to personalize and direct their own development, and we are making sure that it's informed by science and the evidence behind behavioral change. So with the core drivers in Dynamo, we're really helping managers grow that capability. But what can we do about helping managers understand their teams and become more effective leaders on a one-on-one level? Here we have the Team Dynamics report. This tool is designed to take a group's aggregate core drivers results and provide a manager with a deep insight into the types of behavioral tendencies, actions, and decision-making styles that a team may have. The idea being that we can help managers become better coaches to their team if they can understand the types of behaviors and tendencies that they are working with. And so these reports are automatically generated as their direct reports complete the core drivers and are designed to be completely self-directed. For example, here we provide some information to help the manager understand what this report is and how to use it. And we also link out to some playbooks. So the manager has workshop guides, conversation starters, and additional resources so that they can use these results to have and lead team effectiveness sessions, improved one-on-one conversations, and so on. As we go through the report, we spell out what that team's core drivers are at an aggregate level, helping them understand where people are most similar and different. We can highlight where their risks are as a group. So what may happen when this team is under pressure and they're not managing themselves correctly, and what the manager could do to best get ahead of those challenges. We also provide some analytics so the manager can understand their leadership style relative to the behavioral style of the team. A big problem with leadership ineffectiveness is this mismatch between how a manager conducts themselves versus how the team wants to be managed and engaged. And so by providing some data to the manager, they can see where these gaps are and then receive feedback and advice around how to close them or how to lead across them. So here, for example, we can see that I am a very driven individual and my team is much more laid back. We can also see that we're somewhat similar as being pragmatic. That may have benefits because we're likely to solve problems and think about problems in a similar way. but we're likely to struggle to think creatively and think about innovation. And similarly, both myself and my team are quite reserved. So how does that impact the way that we collaborate and leverage relationships? And so the remaining section of this report is really trying to understand those differences and provide advice around what the manager can do to lead across those gaps, or if they are the same across these different dimensions, what they can do to best manage the risks associated with that, while also getting the most out of that capability as well. So here, for example, I'm receiving some feedback because both myself and the team are very reserved, and I'm being told how that may shape the culture and what I can do to lean into the more outgoing side of both myself and that team. Similarly, we can see that we both communicate in a very candid style. So what does that mean for the way that we communicate and show sensitivity towards each other's emotions, the impact that may have on the norms around us. The final section of the report is really spelling out some specific actions that I can start, stop, and keep doing with my team. Informed by the core drivers, I'm given targeted and actionable advice around things I should get this team working on. In this case, create more opportunities for collaboration, implement the right processes, and help them seek out new perspectives. I can see actions and behaviors that I should stop and put some guardrails around. And I get some advice around things that this team should continue to do. The Team Dynamics report is a really powerful tool for new managers, people who are managing people for the first time that may not have necessarily developed many soft skills or leadership skills. It's great for teams that have undergone a lot of change, whether that has been new people coming in and out of the team, or there's been a reset in the wider environment that has now changed the team's mission or mandate. As it's a great way to kind of understand, what am I working with and what can I do to get the most out of this team and effectively coach them to success, which is, as Stephanie mentioned, a critical factor of team effectiveness and engagement at work. The final thing I would like to show you is how a manager can use this type of data to improve their one-on-one relationships with each of their direct reports. So on the left-hand side of this Team Dynamics report is I can see all the team members that I'm responsible for. I can see their core drivers and risks. And then with just one click, I can get a personalized coaching report. Now, let's say Kaylin is new to my team. I've only met her a few times, and I'm trying to understand, how does this person like to work? What are some things that I should be aware of? And ultimately, how can I support this person so they're able to do their best work here at my organization? And so with very simple language, I can see this person's strengths and gaps through the lens of the core drivers. I can see that she is reserved, passionate, and pragmatic. And I can understand some of the challenges that this person may have. I can receive some personalized coaching questions. So in my one-on-one conversations with her, say each week or quarterly, I can ask her these questions to surface more awareness, help her think more about her own professional development, and also give me some advice around what I can do to support her. And then finally, I get some advice around what I can do to best manage and leverage the strengths, mitigate the risks, and how to engage this person. So for each of her core drivers, I'm given these very actionable tips. And so just to recap then, with the Deeper Signals platform, we can increase managerial capability in 3 ways. First is by raising self-awareness and then turning that awareness into action using personalized and self-directed coaching experiences. We can help them lead effectively and harness the team dynamics using aggregated team reports. And then finally, we can improve their ability to support each individual by giving them practical advice around what motivates their direct reports and what support that they need to be successful at their organization. The Deeper Signals platform is scalable, self-directed, and designed to help every manager, no matter how big your organization is. And so since launching Deeper Signals, we have now worked with over 300,000 individuals across some of the world's largest organizations, providing them with this type of feedback. Using technology and science and data, we're able to give everyone the insights that they need to lead, work, and collaborate effectively. And the results speak for themselves. We are seeing a 25% year-on-year performance improvement when people practice their core drivers' feedback. We can see a significant increase in one's ability to learn new skills and talents and work effectively with others. And 95% of our customers would recommend Deeper Signals to their colleagues, down to the impact that we have had on their organization. And so I would like to invite all of you to complete the core drivers and start your own Dynamo journey as a way to say thank you for attending this webinar. If you have any questions and would like to learn more about our solutions and how we can help your organization, feel free to drop us a message, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.